Hi, thanks for watching today. It's Roberta, and I know that I came to you about a year ago and said that I was going to start doing videos again once a week. Well, obviously that didn't happen. Life got in the way. I got kind of busy with other things. I've got a vacation coming up and I'm preparing for that now, and I'm hoping that while on that vacation I can get back on track with making these videos and making journals because of how much I enjoy making them. So I hadn't made a journal in a while, and I got a little kick in the butt from a friend of mine who bought one of my journals and asked me if she could enter my journal into a fiber arts show in her town where her vacation home is. Not under her name, but under my name. She was willing to do that for me. So I gave her a couple of my business cards and said, sure. And I gave her the couple of journals. No, I take it back. She had one journal already that she had purchased for me. And I think I gave her one other journal, maybe two. And then a friend of hers purchased one of them. And then a little while later, she asked me to put some journals in another fiber arts show. But by that time, I had already started using the remaining journal for myself. And so I had no journal. So I had to think fast and create some journals. And happily, I only did 3. One of them sold. One of them I started using myself. It was a December daily. And then there was this one. So this was the first time I ventured. I've only very recently started sewing on paper and tags and things like that. And this is the first time that I had taken fabric and actually used the fabric to create the cover. So it's not like a full fabric cover where it's really just fabric with maybe batting in the middle. It's just a piece of vintage fabric that I picked up on Etsy. And I basically just sewed it on front and back with a kind of a crazy zigzag stitch, and that's all. So this is just a medium weight cardstock right here. That's all it is. And this is something, I want to say it was curtains or something that I picked up at a thrift shop that I cut up, and then some stamped and die cut images from Stampin' Up! And a little piece of linen thread to make a bow. And then the ribbon is the Snug Harbor seam binding that I really do like a lot, and I just put that through there so that it's attached by being behind the fabric. I hope I'm making sense. So most of the pages are coffee dyed. I do like to coffee dye my pages, and this one is as well. And it has some lace trim on the edge, and I did a little, I was going to say corner rounding, but it's not rounding. It was made with a punch that Stampin' Up! Sells. It's called the Best Trio Punch, I believe. And it does a corner kind of like, just cuts a straight corner off. It makes this little design that you're seeing here, and then it also makes a ribbon slot. So that's kind of cool. All right, and this, I was not very good about remembering where these came from. This was from an Etsy seller, and I cannot remember the name, but if I find it, I will definitely link it here in the comments. And just some more coffee dyed paper, and this is some of the same fabric from the cover that I just made a little tab rather. This is some paper from Stampin' Up! This, again, I don't remember where this came from, but I will find it. I'm pretty sure I can find it on my computer where it came from. I started getting better about saving things with the name of the person or shop that I got it from. This was, I believe, a free printable. Might have been Artie Mae's, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll see if I can find that as well. And then I just made a pocket with some designer series paper also from Stampin' Up! And a little lace trim. This, I believe, is Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I don't know that I can swear to it, but it might be. And this is one of those little hidden paper clips where the paper clip is under there, but you can't see it. And this is another stamp and die cut from Stampin' Up! I suppose since I've mentioned Stampin' Up! Twice now, I probably should come and tell you that a number of years after I started making journals and a number of years after I started doing these videos, I had always been a stamper, and I had always gone to Stampin' Up! Parties and Stampin' Up! Events, and someone asked me to become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and given what I was spending on supplies, I decided that wasn't a bad idea. So I am now a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and if you're at all interested in that, I have a Facebook group. I can put the link into that, but I'd like to start sort of melding the two together, because I'd like for my regular stampers who maybe only make cards and nothing else to see that there are other things you can do with your stamps. And I'd like journalers who don't stamp in their journals to see that you can do a lot with stamps. So kind of a two-way thing. So this is an embossing folder, also by Stampin' Up! With a piece of very vintage lace. This is designer series paper, they call it, from Stampin' Up! This is a stamp from Stampin' Up!, which is still current and available for sale. Not all of them are. This is, I believe, a printable from Artie Mays as well. It might have been one of her freebies. And it's just on the back of a coffee dyed paper. I love using music, and whenever I can find vintage sheet music books or just sheet music on sale anyplace, I buy it. I like it. This one has pencil notes from the teacher, or maybe the student. Things are circled, and I think that's nice. And another fabric tab. This is also some retired Stampin' Up! Paper, and I punched the corner using that same punch. This is one of my favorite stamps, and it's still available. It is part of the set called Dragonfly Garden. And it has a punch that goes with it, but in this case I just stamped it and then put a little Wink of Stella on it. And I believe that, although Stampin' Up! Sells it, I think you can buy Wink of Stella elsewhere. Not 100% sure. This is just a tag from clothing. Really nice, thick, heavy tag. And I put some of this printable lined paper on it and a dictionary page and a little butterfly cutout. This is mulberry paper, which I had never heard of until I heard somebody else talking about it. And so I looked on Amazon, and sure enough, they had a mixed package of all different colors. I haven't gone to the trouble to look it up and see exactly what mulberry paper is or how it's made, but it seems like even these little sprigs of plants or whatever they are, they have texture. So it almost seems like they might have been the real thing pressed into the paper. If anybody knows, please share, but at some point I'll look it up. And it definitely has, you know, like a right side and a wrong side to it, but either way, I thought they were both lovely. So that's really just in there for looks for the most part. And then some composition paper, and this is an embossing folder by Stampin' Up! As well. Don't remember where these definitions came from. It was a whole thing, a whole sheet of definitions of, you know, things found in nature. And I was kind of considering this a bit of a nature-y type journal. So we've got some more of the writing paper there on the other side of the mulberry paper. Some more coffee dyed paper. This is also some Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper. I just cut a strip of it, rounded the corners, added a book page pocket, and then I've got some things that, I'm sorry, but yet again, I don't remember where they came from, but can be used as journal cards or even as photo mats if you wanted to put photos on them. This was another clothing tag, very heavyweight. And I think this was, I'm not sure what that was, to be honest with you. I think it might have been some old scrapbook paper that I had. And then some lined paper, coffee dyed. Yeah, this tag is very, very thick. During the lockdown portion of the pandemic, I lost a lot of weight, which was the only good thing I could say about that whole thing. And I ordered some new clothes from Stitch Fix, which I'd never done before, but I didn't want to go shopping, and they weren't letting you try clothes on in the stores anyway. And a lot of their clothes come with those really nice heavy-duty tags for whatever reason. Here's the other half of the sheet music with also some notes on it. And just a paper clip that I distressed using I think it was alcohol inks or alcohol or something. I can't remember right now. And a little fabric flag, just, you know, so that's another tuck spot. There's the other half of that paper that I believe is Artie Mays, and some graph paper. And I did a little stamping. That's a current Stampin' Up! Stamp. And this is some retired paper. Did a little stamping here. I think that one's current, but I'm not positive. And here is, I'm pretty sure this was Artie Mays, and it was a kit that I purchased. And it had this little template for the envelope and a template for this as well, which you could cut in half and use as two or leave open, kind of book style. And so that's another spot where you can journal things or put photos. Just remember, if you don't already know this, that when you coffee dye paper, even if it was archival quality paper to begin with, it's no longer archival quality. So if you're going to put photos, expect that they might fade. That being said, I have some that are 10 years old that don't seem to be faded yet. Maybe in 50 years they will be. I don't know. All of the designer series paper from Stampin' Up! Is archival quality, and so that's safe. Some more stamping there. Sometimes the stamping shows through and I don't care. Sometimes I'll put a corner pocket there to cover that up if it does. This is a really pretty little stamp I did in a couple of shades of green. And then we've got the other side of that printable that I'm not sure where it came from. And the last coffee dyed page, which probably got a little overbaked and got really dark, which I like, but not as much as the later pages. And then that's it. So I just wanted to share that with you and let you know that I am hoping that I will be able to come to you with more videos in the very near future once I get settled in at my vacation location and get my things unpacked. I have quite a few craft supplies that I leave there, but then I generally pack up the car and bring a ton more because, you know, we wouldn't want to be without anything for any period of time. So thank you very much for watching, and be on the lookout for more videos. Take care. Have a great day.